America, pasta, chicken, shrimp, garlic, Old Bay, broccoli, garlic powder, spinach, onion. Hi, making a cream sauce. How you guys doing? You can tell by my voice, yes, I'm still a wee bit tired. Cornstarch slurry. I'm going for some light food, no heat tonight, and we'll a little bit, but not monster heat. I love that Tabasco sauce, man. That habanero Tabasco I made, that stuff is so good. I still got a big old thing of it too. Look at that. It's pickling now. I let the gas escape, put in new oxygen, make sure I don't get anaerobic. But everything's so vinegary there. Shouldn't have any ball. Shouldn't have any issues at all. Alright. Or just get shrimp. Chicken cooked down. Alright. Gonna add in a little bit more butter. Broccoli. Spinach. Spinach is just going to wilt real quick. Turn the temperature down off high. That's what we're looking at right there. I was in the store today, I was going through the cheeses, and I'm like, I want the whole milk one, all the fat. And I looked at the guy next to me who was marking stuff in Winco, and I'm like, I don't look like I eat with all the fat, do I, man? Yeah, y'all crooked. Crooked eye, crooked eye, crooked eye. All right. And I'm gonna use a little half and half because I only buy milk like every other month I buy milk. It's a strange thing to say. I know you guys with kids and families, you use a lot more milk. All right, that was heavy cream. And here's my cornstarch slurry. And mix. Just voila, 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 voila. And then, oh yeah. The cheese! The cheese! The cheese! That was some cheese, huh? That was a pile of cheese. I'll show you. Do it with the cheese! Yeah, baby, 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 baby. I'm gonna do it with the cheese! Extra prunes tonight because we did it with the cheese. Quan Quan! Quan Quan! You hear me, man? Don't know SoCal. You ever watch my show, man? Dang, man. Thought we was brothers, man. Quan Quan! That's my boy Kwanzaa. We was in class together. Get his monkey butt up here and start a restaurant with me, man. Hey y'all, I'm feeling alright. I worked out hard today. But then I played with the kids. We had a good time, man. All up in the backyard. Yet my noodles weren't quite done. I rushed them. I just rushed this whole meal. So I'm actually doing something here that's like it's the whole concept behind a a hamburger helper, but I don't ever buy that stuff because it's got all them chemicals in there. Stuff makes me sick, actually. If I eat chemical food now, if I go out to restaurants where we were talking about that on a chef page earlier. My buddy puts up a post and he says, man, the giants, Cisco and McDonald's and the big buyers and sellers of product, purveyors to restaurants, man, they're all starting to sell, you know, the big ones are starting to take over everything on the East Coast. And I'm like, that's one thing we're lucky about here on the West Coast is we got a lot of small farms. And really, that's going to be the move soon, is people are going to realize that this mass-produced food is what's making us all sick. And then you're like, oh, well, really? And I'm like, oh, yeah, really? Ask me when I got a cold last. Knock on wood. It's almost 4 years. And it's simply because I stopped eating soy and high fructose corn syrup. I started this show, you know, like 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. About 3.5 years. And plus I'm just regularly healthy overall. But since I've been doing this diet, I mean, yeah, I miss drinking Mountain Dew. And if I want a Coca-Cola, I go buy a Mexican one. So I just threw this all up in here. This is like a stew kind of. Yeah. Look. Because the noodles need some moisture. I just went for it, you know. I'm going to add a little bit more cream. I want the noodles to pick, you know, to relax a little bit. You guys are crooked again. Crooked eye, crooked eye. And that's a Minnesota thing. Because there's a special mnemonic thing for remembering how to spell Mississippi when you're a kid. We're going to put a little bit more garlic powder in this. I didn't put any fresh garlic in there. It's really hot, guys. I actually put my shirt back on for the show. Just, you know. Ooh, let's put this away. Oh, I got some new plates. Hey, isn't that cool? You want to see one? I'll show you. I'll pull a new plate out. These are a little better for pasta anyways. They got a deeper bowl. See? Somebody moved out and he's in a better place. I was not dead. I said that to somebody else and they're like, oh, you done? You said better place. No, he was having some issues. He was a neighbor. You know, one of the neighbors came over and was talking to me about it. She's got kids and all. And said, this guy's scaring me. And I was like, why don't you go to his door and, like, instead of, you know, being scared about it, write something on his door and say, hey, we're your neighbors and we're worried about you. And that way the guy doesn't realize, he's like, hey, these people aren't against me. They're worried about me. And they're trying to say that. Because he was freaking people out because he was telling them, hey, you're making me sick and this and that. And I don't talk to him, yeah. Also, in this conversation, notice I don't give any names out and stuff like that. It's not my way. I was in the store later today, and this lady, she was about, I guess probably about my age, you know. Maybe a little younger, I like to say. Always to the ladies, you know. And we were in a Winco, and somebody like cut her off, one of the employees, and she didn't see it. And then she went to my station, and I was busy telling the lady that, hey, this is why I have this oil that I'm not paying for. It's because I had a razor cut that I went through the line already, or talked to the lady already. And then I come back, and I'm like, well, yeah, sorry. And I'm kind of trying to talk to her, cheer her up, because she's explaining how rude it was. I'm like, you know. I said, you know, if you knew that this man standing beside you just went through some kind of suffering experience of pain that no human being should have to go through for 3.5 years, and the fight that I went through it, and you know, and I said, and I was talking this concept with a buddy of mine. I said, you know, I got after 100,000 or so views, you know, people been coming at me saying all sorts of stuff that's really not okay. You know, sending me videos that are definitely not okay, definitely illegal. Anyways, man, I said you just gotta live in the joy. And meanwhile, so I'm telling her all that. Remember the oil I went to tell the lady about? So I was, you know, just explain it to her why I was. They all know me there, you know. I actually could have just said, "Oh, I paid for this already," and walked out the door. But I want to do appropriately, right? And I'm busy trying to calm this lady down. Then I went out and was. I'm not trying to hit on no lady, right? I said, "Look, man. When this brother walked through the store, walked somewhere, let's say." Some of the girls might be looking. Might be. I would know nothing about no fine girls checking me out while I'm walking down the way, right? You know, brother, don't. And so anyways, man, you know, I just stopped and said, "Hey, my name's Chef John." Introduced myself and being polite. Shook her hand. She just had this disposition. She was so upset. And then I forgot my oil and had to go. I walked like 2 blocks and then had to go back and get my oil. I'm like, man, life is ironic, man. Life is a joke. I wasn't upset at all. I saw kind of a beauty in that, a humor in that, you know, that I took my time. And she was upset over 3 seconds, 2 seconds, you know what I mean? And I was like 15 minutes, half hour out of my way. And just, it didn't make no difference to me, man. I'd rather do that. And, you know, I think about chopping up some basil and putting it on here. But I don't think I'm gonna. Yeah. All right. That's my plate. All right. I don't know where my paprika shaker is. I ain't gonna do it. Peace, y'all.